friends, it's T-Man, and we are back with a educational video. I guess you could call this Q&A, man, because, you know, I think I've talked about this before on my old channel, but again, we're going to talk about it on this channel, because some people always ask me, sometimes they ask me these things sometimes, I don't know, and they always ask me, if you post something in your community section, can you talk about it? Well, I won't talk about every single one, but I'll talk about some of them, sure. And this just happens to be one of them because this could be important, I guess, So this is from AI Overview, they take it from a bunch of sites. It's a collective, okay? So you ask it a question and it puts out an answer, okay? So AI Overview, it says, yes, maintaining an anabolic state where protein synthesis consistently, listen to the word, consistently exceeds protein breakdown over about 3 months can lead to observable myofibular growth. So how long does it take for you to see observable myofibular growth? Pretty much any type of growth. When is it observable? Always in the 3rd month. When doctors give drugs to patients, they always say these things start to kick in the 3rd month. They start taking it, but they start seeing things and results or whatever in the 3rd month or whatever they're doing there. Glucosamine, chiodratine, glucosamine. When do you see the benefits of glucosamine? Always in the 3rd month. Everything is always observable in the 3rd month. Man, don't ask me why. It just is like that, okay? So, yeah. So if you're in such a hurry of building muscle, you're expecting you're going to see it in a couple of weeks, a month, whatever. You're not going to see anything, man, that quickly. Real observable growth. I'm not talking about sarcoplasmic or inflammation or anything like that, okay, from lifting weights. I'm talking about myofibular growth, like real growth. Observable real growth. When do you see it? In the 3rd month, okay? So yeah, providing that protein synthesis consistently exceeds protein breakdown. And we're not talking about the anabolic window, man. That doesn't work. Look, that works, but it won't work if you stop. All right? Let's put it that way. Anyway, you get the idea, you get the gist of it. Okay, anyway, so though the exact timing for visible changes can vary. Yeah, I would say it could vary, the exact timing. I don't know when the exact timing is. We just know the observable, this observable myofibular growth is usually within the 3rd month, okay? Anything that you're doing, maybe overeating protein, trying to increase collagen production, you're trying to see youthful changes, regeneration in your body, whatever, it's always in the 3rd month, okay? So yeah, anyways. Consistent resistance training and proper nutrition that provides enough protein are key to creating this anabolic response, which involves muscle repair and growth. So, the consistency in you causing micro tears, you coming in on the week, on the day, and on the week, creating these micro tears, and then the rest of the week, you are exceeding that protein breakdown, okay? And it has to be consistent. If it's not, man, you start breaking down proteins, it will not build. All right. How muscle growth works. Protein turnover. Your muscles fibers are in a constant state of turnover. Yeah, they're in constant state of turnover. With proteins being synthesized and broken down simultaneously. These things we already know. Yeah, okay. So anabolic versus catabolic state. An anabolic state occurs when the rate of protein synthesis is greater. See, an anabolic growth state is greater than the rate of protein breakdown. That's how you know you're in an anabolic growth state. That has nothing to do with I'm going to eat 32 grams of protein or 100 grams of protein. Good luck with that, okay? Resulting in a net gain of muscle protein and increased muscle mass. See? Yeah. Now, a catabolic state happens when protein breakdown exceeds synthesis, leading to muscle loss. That means you're in negative nitrogen balance. Be careful. Stimulating growth. Persistence. Exercise is the primary stimulus for muscle growth. It is. It's the primary. But if protein doesn't exceed breakdown, then there will be zero growth. See what I mean? It'll happen in the beginning when you first start, but it will stop happening right away because you're not exceeding breakdown. It breaks down muscle tissue, which then triggers an increase. See, listen, it breaks down muscle tissue, which then triggers a what? An increase in protein synthesis to repair. It does. It triggers an increase. But it itself, without protein, is not, there's nothing to synthesize. There's no growth. To repair and build stronger, larger muscle fibers. Yeah. The role of nutrition. Sufficient protein intake. Consuming enough protein provides the amino acids necessary for muscle protein synthesis. Consistency, here it is. Instead of focusing on an anabolic window, which a lot of people do, they just focus on the anabolic window. Listen to me, there is an anabolic window. After your workout, there's an anabolic window, it lasts 4 hours. But you still need to be protein synthesis still needs to outpace protein breakdown, and it needs to be. Sorry about that, I got booted there. Anyways, so like I said, protein synthesis still needs to outpace protein breakdown, and it needs to be consistent. Otherwise, you're not gonna see any gains, man. Get it? Yeah, man. Anyways, consistent total daily protein intake is more important for long-term muscle growth. Long-term muscle growth. That's why people are never seeing anything in the gym and they're all frustrated because they don't know what they're doing, okay? Visible changes and time frame. 3-month mark, okay? The 3-month mark. This is it. You'll likely start noticing slight visible changes in muscle definition and size after approximately 2 to 3 months of consistent training and high protein, nutrient-rich diet. Now, if you haven't been seeing that, that's because you have not been in an anabolic growth state. Protein has not outpaced protein breakdown because you're all over the place. You people need to focus more on food than you're working out. Working out can happen anytime. Causing a micro tear in a muscle, yeah, you go to a gym, you cause a micro tear. That's really easy. You just do it once. But guess what? This has to be consistent every day. If it's not, you're not going to see any growth. That's why I told people always ask me, how did you build your body? I said, money. Money built my body and time. I had the time at the time. I remember I had a lot of time at the time, okay? And I had money. I had money and I had time. And so I could eat as much as I want and I had time and money. And I built my body, okay? It's really simple. You can do it too naturally. You do not need steroids or test boosters or any kind of bullshit or supplements or anything. You can do it if you do this properly, yeah. Now, can you use a complex carbohydrate? Well, really, I'm having second thoughts about any kind of plant sources. I'm not saying you can't. It might aid you in sparing some of that protein that you have because you're using the complex carbohydrate as an energy source and it will spare protein to keep building that muscle. So some people do, the intelligent people that know about this, they do that. They add that in there. But is it good for long term? No, I don't suggest you do that long term. Me personally, probably you want to try to see how you would perform on animal fat, high animal fat and protein, a high protein animal fat diet, and trying to build myofibular growth, okay? You'll definitely have a better physique for sure. You're going to look more muscular and better for sure doing that. Now, if you're adding a complex carbohydrate, your physique is always going to look kind of mediocre-y, kind of not the greatest, because the complex carbohydrate prevents that. You're absorbing plant DNA. See what I mean? You're not absorbing animal DNA. You're still absorbing plant DNA. Now, if you want to remove that, then remove the plant DNA and just eat animal DNA. Therefore, animal DNA fucking mimics human DNA. It's the same, okay? So there you go. It's preference, man. It's up to you, really. You know, like I said, it's really up to you which one to do. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it can affect your physique, a bunch of things. I don't know. I mean, in the long term, using complex carbohydrates, as science tells you, it will compromise your mitochondria, can become dysfunctional. And if that happens, that's where disease pops out. You definitely don't want to cause any kind of chronic disease or something, or dysfunctional mitochondria or whatever. I don't know what these outcomes could be long term. They could be very bad. It could be very bad. I don't do any carbohydrates, so yeah, I stopped that a long time ago. Anyways, factors or variation, the rate of which you see results can be influenced by genetics, your training intensity. What's genetics? Well, environmental. Whatever affects you environmentally affects your genetics. See what I mean? When people say genetics, it's what is affecting you environmentally. Your training, what you're eating, how you're sleeping, a bunch of stuff, okay? Whatever it is that's going in your mouth. Your training intensity. Well, training intensity is one thing. You come in on the day and you are intense because you're training to get to micro damage muscles. That's all. That's the catalyst. And how consistently you stick to your plan. Yeah, most people cannot stick to a plan. They're not consistent in sticking to a plan. They're all over the place, and so they can't figure out why nothing is going on, why they're not growing, and so forth and so on, whatever. Why waste your time? Do not waste your time. Time is precious. Time is everything, dude. Me personally, if you're asking me, if I were you, I would just go all out or don't do it. Either go all out or don't do it if you can't go all out, because it's just wasting your time, man. I'll see you in the next video, friends. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. So what is the formula for causing micro tears? Well, unaccustomed, unfamiliar, untrained, and eccentric exercise are known to cause widespread muscle damage, okay? These are the three things. Now, what will build muscle when protein synthesis consistently exceeds or that output in muscle protein breakdown? That's what will keep building muscle. Very simple. And you only work out once a week. Get it? Once a week. And then you come back and you do it again the next week. And then you keep this consistency going in this protein, okay? It's really simple. It's not hard. Once you get that first anabolic window after your workout, you start eating, you just keep adding to that. Keep eating more protein and adding to it all the time. Eat a lot. Be in an anabolic growth state. Keep growing. And your muscles will grow more myofibular growth. And it will happen rapidly. It will happen fast. Probably by the 6th month, you'll see massive changes in strength and in myofibular growth. But if you don't do this and you're not consistent, you're going to see jack shit. But you definitely are going to see something in the 3rd month. But if you are not really seeing very much in the 3rd month, that means you failed. Get it? You failed. You got an F. It's really simple, people. I don't know what to tell people in the gym. So yeah. Those are the things that get you there. I'll see you in the next one. Don't you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. See you in the next video. I hope that helped, man. I don't know.